In the beginning of Project Hail Mary movie, we see a spaceship named Hail Mary, and 2 years later, a man named Grace suddenly wakes up, who has been in a coma for a long time. Then the AI system of the spaceship Mary starts talking to him. But Grace is very confused. How did he come here? Then Grace comes out and checks the spaceship, and there he sees some people like him. Then he realizes that his companions have died during the journey. After this, Grace explores the entire ship. Due to coma, his memory becomes very weak. He finds out that he has come a long way from the Earth in the spaceship, and he goes to the control room and tells Mary that let us go back to Earth. But Mary says that the mission will be completed first, and then we will go back. Then Grace checks and finds out that those people had left the Earth 2 years ago. And how slowly Grace starts remembering her old life. She remembers that she was a teacher and raised children. She taught them science, especially molecular biology, in a simple way. Then one day, a girl asks him if the sun is really going to end. Then Grace explains to him that the sun's rays reach all planets. But a strange wave has been detected from Venus, which is called a Petrovale line. Through these Petrovale lines, a microorganism of Venus is reaching the sun. Factor to this organism, the heat of the sun is gradually decreasing. Its effect was then on the planets. According to scientists, the temperature on the Earth will decrease by about 30 years, and a new ice age may come in which many people can die. Hearing this, the children get scared. But Grace tells them that there is no need to be afraid, because the world's best scientists are working on this problem, and they will try their best to save the Earth. After up class, Grace was often lost in her own world, and a big scientist named Eve comes to meet her. Eve knows everything about Grace's past. Grace had also written a paper on Flurry, in which she believed that life can be on any planet without water. But people made fun of her, and that is why she was removed from the scientist group. Since then, he has been working as a teacher. Now Eve gives Grace a chance, and says that she can't prove her theory through a big experiment. Then Grace goes to the lab with her. Eve gives her a sample. She gives this sample to check it. Grace studies it and says that the sample looks like a living being, but to confirm it, she has to do more tests. Then Grace does different tests on that sample, like checking the effects of light. Gradually, she finds out that it is a strange elemental organism, which may be an alien, because it does not belong to the Earth. And now Eve is very happy to hear this. Now, going ahead, Grace understands that this is the same organism that is cooling the sun, and it is connected to the bedroval line. Then Eve tells that Grace's theory was right. A living being has been found on Venus without water, which is reducing the heat of the sun. She has named this organism as astrophage. A team of 130 scientists was working on it, but Grace did not do the real research. Then Eve asks Grace if it will help in the future. Then Grace says yes. Then Eve takes Grace to a big base. There she tells that they will have to make astrophage in a large quantity. Grace asks why. Then the scientist tells that astrophage will be used like the fuel of the spaceship, because this can make the spaceship travel very fast. Their plan is to go on a mission which can save the Earth. The name of this mission is Project Hail Mary. In this, more scientists will work with Grace. Grace gets ready for this. Then Eve explains the whole mission to everyone. That, due to astrophage, many planets are in danger from the universe. But a distant star system, Tau City, still safe. So they have to go there and find out what is different there. Grace finds this plan very impressive, But Eve is concerned the amount of astrophage they will be able to make in 2 years. They will only be able to reach Tau City from there. There will be no fuel to come back, meaning the mission will be a kind of one-way trip. Mean of people going, if 4, may never be able to return. Their plan was that, whatever important element they will get there, it will be sent to the Earth through a small, fast spaceship. In this way, they could save the Earth by sacrificing themselves, because it takes about 3.5 years to reach Tau City, and by the time the message or something reaches the Earth, it would have been 26 years there. For this mission, 3 scientists were being selected. Now, in present time, Grace remembers all this slowly. Then he starts using all the equipment in the spaceship. He respectfully puts the bodies of his 2 dead companions in a bag. He knew one of them, Mr. Leo. Grace gives him respect and says goodbye to him in the spaceship. After that, Grace learns to live in the spaceship and starts to enjoy a little. All this works for several months, but his memory is still not fully recovered. Then one day, Mary tells him that another spaceship has come to him. Grace goes outside and sees that the spaceship is quite different. It is made like a crystal. And first, then bomb-like things thrown from that spaceship. Curse Hail Mary. Grace gets scared, but she does not explode. Then he feels that maybe this is a message. Grace goes out wearing a spacesuit and brings that object. When he opens it, he finds a strange thing in it. Upon testing, it's found that it is kind of map, i.e., a design. And Grace also puts the location of his Earth in that device. It sends it back to the alien spaceship. Now the next day, some wires come out of the alien spaceship, which catches the spaceship of Grace. A tunnel-like path is formed from those wires, which looks like a crystal cave. Grace gets scared first, but then he goes ahead in that cave wearing a spacesuit. He goes ahead and sees the alien. Both are shocked to see each other. That alien looks like a stone and is the size of a dog. Grace finds that alien very interesting. The alien speaks in different voices. Grace starts dancing for communication, and the alien also copies it. Then Grace and Mary make a device together, which can understand the language of the alien. When that system is ready, then both can finally talk. Grace names that alien Rocky, because he looks like a stone. Then both start talking about their loneliness in space. Gradually, they also share about their mission. Both have the same mission, tasks for forwarders, to save their home due to the astrophage. Then Rocky tells that there were 23 more people like him in his spaceship, but all are dead. Grace also tells that there were 3 people in his ship, but now only he is alive. Still, he wants to complete his mission. This makes a strong friendship between the two, because their goal is the same. Grace makes a special voice device for Rocky, which can translate his language. They test different voices, but in the end, they use a simple male voice. Now both decide that they will complete their mission together. Now the scene shifts to the past, where we see that Eve introduces the scientist to Grace, who is preparing for the mission, making the astrophage. These scientists are going to the mission. Grace teaches them how to use the spaceship and how to bring elements from other planets. He also tells them that the astrophage is very dangerous. If it comes in contact with any metal, then it can destroy things. Then Grace meets Mr. Liu, who praises him. Grace asks that when you know that there can be death in the mission, then why are you going? Liu says that if the Earth can be saved by giving his life, then this is a small thing. And now Grace remembers all this in the present, and she understands what she has to do. Then Rocky comes to Grace's ship to save himself from oxygen. Rocky makes a cover of this around crystal because oxygen is harmful for him. Rocky says jokingly, while looking at the ship, that Grace is very dirty. Grace starts cleaning it. He also records everything about Rocky so that he can understand him better. Gradually, Grace gets used to living with Rocky, and he does not feel alone. Then one day, Grace is eating food. Then Rocky also shows his way of eating. He takes the food from below in his mouth. Seeing this, Grace feels a little nauseous. Then Rocky says if he was a mechanic in his ship, suggests that they both have to go to the same place. Then they can travel together in Grace's spaceship and can also come back together. Grace agrees with Rocky, and both separate. Now they have to reach Tau City in 11 days. During this time, both spend a lot of time together. Rocky shows Grace the projection of different places on Earth, which makes their friendship stronger. Rocky says that he has a wife at home, with whom he has lived for 183 years. But according to him, this time is also less. Then Rocky asks Grace about his girlfriend. Grace says that she also had a girlfriend, but he was always busy with work. So she left him and went with a man in Mark. Hearing this, Rocky says that he does not like Mark. Hearing this, Grace is a little happy. Now after 11 days, both reach Tau City. There their main mission is to check whether Petrova Lyon's element is like astrophage or not. Then both take the spaceship and bring the sample from there. Grace tests the sample and compares it with astrophage. In the test, it is found that there is mean life in that element. Means it is a kind of bacteria that can fight with astrophage. This is a big hope for them, because maybe this is how they can save the sun. But the problem is that they need a lot of that element, which will be found near the planet of Tau City. That is why both are preparing to go there. Then Grace says that there is less astrophage fuel in his spaceship, so he will not be able to go back to Earth and will die in space. But he plans to send the element from a small ship to Earth, so that the Earth can be saved. Hearing this, Rocky gets upset, because he did not know this. He says that I will not let you die. Grace says that meeting you is a big deal for him, and he is happy that he had a friend before he died. He also says that he will save both the planets. Then Rocky says that there is a lot of astrophage in his spaceship, which he will give to Grace. With this, Grace will be able to go back to his home. Yes, it will take 6 years for Rocky to reach his home, but he cannot let his friend die. Hearing this, Grace gets a little emotional, because he had given up hope of living, and then he hugs Rocky. Then it is shown in the past, where Grace and Eve had prepared the spaceship. In a few days, the scientist team is about to go on a mission. Then there is a big explosion in the lab. Seeing this, everyone gets scared, starts checking the situation. At present, Grace and Rocky are going to the planet of Tau City. The environment there is very dangerous. Because of strong gravity, the spaceship starts to get damaged. Still, Grace goes out bravely and starts collecting the elements in the box. He has to stay outside for a long time, so that the box is properly filled. In this part, Grace gets hurt while working outside. False and 5. Rocky gets scared, but Grace gets up bravely and holds the box. Strong gravity is pulling him. Still Grace somehow comes back to the spaceship with the box. Then they start leaving there quickly, but due to increasing speed, their engine catches fire. The situation gets out of control, and there is an explosion in which Grace gets hurt and faints. and loses control of the spaceship. Rocky sees all this, but cannot help directly. Then he takes a risk and breaks his crystal box and comes out. First, he turns on the spaceship's autopilot and then picks up Grace and puts her in the hibernation chamber so that Mary can treat her. Then the pass is shown where the Hail Mary mission was to be launched only 2 days later. But the main scientist team was dead. Everyone was in tension. And who will go now? And everyone's eyes fall on Grace. She is smart, knows everything about the mission. But Grace refuses and says that she is not an astronaut. But Eve says that you are best for this mission. Still, Grace is not ready. But no one would have listened to her. In the present, Grace comes to her senses. Mary tells her that the spaceship is now in control. Then Grace sees that something like soil is falling from Rocky's body. He goes ahead, sees that Rocky is inside the box, and its color has changed. And Grace understands that Rocky is dead, and he gave his life to save Grace's life. Grace is very sad to see this. Then Grace tests the elements she has brought. When he tests them with the astrophage, he finds out that the element destroys the astrophage and increases itself. This makes Grace understand that this is why Tau City's star is safe. He names this new element Predator because it destroys the astrophage. Then Grace talks to Rocky's body and says that now he will save both the planets. He prepares a lot of samples so that both Earth and Rocky planets can be saved. Now there's only one problem. He does not know how to get to Rocky's planet Erid, but he decides to go to Rocky's spaceship and find a solution to it. Now one day, Grace is sad and sleeps near Rocky. Then suddenly Rocky comes back to him alive. Grace is very happy to see him and hugs him. This scene is very emotional. Then Grace tells Rocky about Predator. Rocky is also happy to hear this, because now they have a solution. Both celebrate, because their mission is about to be completed. Then, after a few days, both reach near Rocky's spaceship. Rocky takes Grace inside his ship. Grace is surprised to see, because the whole spaceship is made of crystals. He is very impressed to see this. Then the pass is shown. Grace is with Eve, and he refuses to go to the space mission. He says to send someone else. Eve explains to him that you are the last hope of the Earth. Otherwise, the Earth and your students will all be finished. But Grace still refuses. Then Eve gets distracted, says there's an order. Grace tries to run away. The guards catch him. He is forcibly sent to the Hail Mary mission and is unconscious and put in a coma. That is why he does not remember anything later. Now in the present time, Grace and Rocky are about to separate. Both get emotional because they may never meet again. Both say goodbye to each other and get on their own ships and leave for their home. Now after 11 months, Grace is traveling towards the Earth. Then an alarm rings in his spaceship. Upon checking, he finds that the sample of Predator is coming into contact with Astrofish, destroying it, so it is necessary to keep them apart. But Grace accidentally kept them close. Then Grace safely packs all the Predator samples and records all their information in the video, so that people on Earth can understand it. Then Grace thinks that this problem may also be in Rocky's ship. But if he saves Rocky, he himself will not be able to go back to Earth. This is a very big decision for him. How in the end, Grace decides that he will sacrifice. He puts the sample of Predator in small ships and sends them to Earth, and changes the direction of his spaceship and goes towards the planet Erid of Rocky. A few days later, Grace sees Rocky's spaceship. Grace gets out of her spaceship and goes to the cave of Rocky's ship, i.e., the tunnel, and calls him. Rocky comes, and the two friends get very happy together, because now they are together again, and will be together for a long time. Then after many years, the scene of the earth is shown. There, Eve is now quite old, after 27 years. Due to the weakening of the sun, ice age has begun on the earth. But Eve gets samples and videos of the predator sent by Grace. From the videos, she also learns about Rocky. She's happy to see all this. Now Eve and the rest of the scientists use the predator to destroy the astrophage, and slowly the work to save the earth begins. On the other hand, Hecros is now living on the arid planet. One day, when he comes out, he meets Rocky. Rocky has made a place for Grace that looks like the earth, so that Grace feels comfortable. And Rocky has also arranged that if Grace ever wants to return to the earth, then the Hail Mary spaceship is also ready for her. Then Grace says that he will think about it. Then the two friends happily spend time there. And finally, Grace becomes a teacher there, and teaches the children of Erid, i.e., those who look like Rocky. And with this, the story of the Project Hail Mary movie ends here.